to Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. What a man we have on the bench today. When Miguna shows up, you know this is one show not to forget. Tell a friend who knows a friend who is a fan of JKL that they are missing. If they're not watching, you better be watching, because Miguna is calling it like he sees it. Tweets coming in very thick and very fast. Eliab Kirwa Rono says, "Go on, Miguna, go on, unmask them all." And then Team Joseph Barr says, "Smoking, you are welcome. Miguna is good to go." Cliff Miguna says, "Miguna never misses a word." And then my good friend Robert Borali says, "Love him or hate him, Miguna shoots straight from the barrel." And that's what we're doing, folks, because as I said earlier on in the show, quoting from the movie Apollo 13, Houston, we have a problem. The executive involved in corruption, the legislature involved in corruption, and now the judiciary. What hope for the rest of us? 2017 general election literally around the corner. And by the way, House Majority Leader, listen to this, House Majority Leader Aden Duale today on national TV said Kenya has lost the war on corruption. Miguna, your thoughts?
It is true. Kenya lost the war on corruption a long time ago. The unfortunate thing right now is this, that we are past a crisis point. We are really past a crisis point. And if the situation continues the way it is, Kenya will be a failed state by the end of the year. Completely.
This year?
Certified, yes, this year.
If we continue at the same trajectory?
Kenya will be a complete failed state, and President Uhuru Kenyatta will not be re-elected. That I can say on national television.
You're saying that now?
I'm saying that now. If President Uhuru Kenyatta does not watch this space and does not do something radical, and I mean real radical, blood must flow, and must flow quite rapidly. He will not see State House again. That is a fact.
You're saying he's going to be a one-term president?
His re-election will depend on whether or not he fights corruption.
Not about SGR or development?
Not about any of these other things. It will be on corruption, which is sucking most of the money, most of the development money. He had given 90 days for EACC and some government functionaries, and he gave a list to Parliament. And I don't know what happened, because he has not fired anybody, nobody has been charged, and he has never spoken about that list again. And that should not have been the only list, because he said this is just the beginning, and this is just the first list. So we are waiting for the second list, and we are asking, what have you done about the first list? Because we are not going to forget.
He fired 5 ministers.
No, he didn't. He did the so-called reshuffling, and then said he restructured the government. He did not restructure. What did he restructure? What have we seen that is different from what was happening before? Nothing. There are a lot of ministers that were retained that are corrupt to the core, and we know them. There is a lot of money that was lost, and none has been recovered. We know where the money is. We know what properties this money has bought or where they have been stuffed, and this should have been, the assets of this individual should have been frozen, awaiting determination of the court. And because there is overwhelming evidence against these individuals, and I mean all these ministers and PSS plus more, nothing has happened. What has happened with the devolution minister, CS, and the staff? What has happened with the National Youth Service, and what happened, you know, very only specific low-key individuals were arrested for crimes that are less than what we believe they committed. And we know, based on our history and based on how we see the revolving door, the auction house, you know, the judiciary for me is an auction house where the highest bidder gets the prize. Now the auction house is in its motions. You see how people like Barasa were indicted by the ICC.
Yes.
They have never been taken
Nothing.
to the ICC.
Nothing.
Look at the former head of Kenya Power, Gichuru, and Okemo.
Yes.
They were indicted long time ago in Jersey,
Yeah.
more than 4 years ago. They are still here. Look at Anglo-Lise. Look at Goldenberg. All these people, Britain just sentenced Samoya, was it to 8 years or more?
8 years.
And then froze a lot of his assets and gave back to people that he stole it from. Britain did investigations on the Chicken Gate and prosecuted and convicted and jailed people that did not step into Kenya. That is why what Tunoi was saying, because I feel it is very difficult to call him a justice, because he can't speak like a justice, he's not reasoning like a justice, he doesn't look like a justice. I don't know how that guy got to be at the bench. He doesn't sound intelligent, and I don't think he is. And doesn't sound wise, he's not honest. He says he did not see Kidero physically. So does it mean if you have not seen somebody physically, you cannot send he cannot send money to you through other people? He said he has not spoken to Kidero. He sees him on TV. That is his defense.
Yeah.
But these people in the Chicken Gate were arrested in Britain. They were not in Kenya. They did not meet the IBC official physically. They did not talk to them on the phone personally. And evidence was obtained, and they were convicted in Britain.
And no one was convicted here, by the way.
Nobody has been convicted here, and now there is a tussle, just what I would call a show for entertainment, that a letter that had been sent, or documents or evidence that had been sent by the Serious Crimes Office in Britain, got to the AG's chambers, and between the AG's chambers to EACC, just a walking distance away, that the documents have disappeared. Somebody could just have taken the document physically and handed them to the EACC. So now it's a blame game. This is deliberate. And you know, Kenyans' memory is very short.
Very short.
Most of the Kenyans. Because yesterday you were talking about Eurobond. So today they have forgotten about the Eurobond, now that we are talking about the judiciary. Then they forgot that before that they were talking about SGR, where they also said a lot of money was lost.
Yes.
Before that, there was talk about corruption in the National Assembly. That is also completely forgotten. Then before that, there was Chicken Gate, completely forgotten. And the opposition, or the minority, long went to slumber. Most of these bills that have been even suspended or reversed by the judiciary passed through the National Assembly, where ODM is, where CORD is.
And nobody questioned.
Nobody questioned. The Eurobond money that they are claiming is missing or misappropriated, and I don't know whether it is true or not. They sat in the appropriation committees. They approved most of these expenditures. They never blew the whistle. They never thought there was something suspicious. The director of budget said one thing today, reversed herself tomorrow. Nothing has happened to her. The Auditor General has not said anything about this thing. And he doesn't have to wait until he releases his report, because this is urgent. And you can't talk about budget and short of staff, because this is a national crisis. So what I'm saying is that there is a deliberate, and has been a deliberate decision by the owners of the auction house called Corruption and Theft to put people in these positions for purposes of this revolving door that we are seeing. So when you go to the EACC, the same thing. When you go to DPP, the same thing. When you go to the judiciary, the same thing. When you go to parliament, the same thing. When you go to the ministries, the same thing.
So where's the hope, Miguna? Where's the hope going into an election that's 18 months away? Is there any hope? Are we going to degenerate into Burundi?
No,
because
no, no. let me tell you where the hope is. The hope, and I know this is true, is that the majority of Kenyans, and particularly the youth, do not like what they are seeing. And leaders need to emerge, cultivate this constituency, and remove this rotten lot and lock them up in committee. That is the only thing that we have to do.
Do we have the guts? Do we have the wherewithal to do that, Miguna?
We can, and I'll give you a few examples. Who knew Bernie Sanders 6 months ago?
Nobody.
Nobody knew.
Who was nobody?
And he just tied with Hillary Clinton, and in my estimation, he's going to the White House.
Are you serious?
Yes, because you see, if Trump wins
Yes.
the Republican nomination, he's going to be obliterated into smithereens by the African Americans, the
And the
Latinos.
Hispanics, yes.
That's already 50%. So he's going home, and Bernie Sanders is going to State House, to White House.
He'll beat Hillary in the
he's
primaries?
Of course.
He'll beat Hillary?
He will beat
With
Hillary.
the Clinton machinery?
Of course. Obama beat Hillary. Hillary is so much connected to the Washington and Wall Street power barons, the interest there. And that is what the Americans are rejecting. That she will not manage. The same thing that will happen in this country.
Are there those fringe candidates? Are there people out there who are ready to emerge to lead this nation forward, Miguna?
My friend, all Kenyans, a lot of them, have the potential to do that. The guy in Greece also was not known a few years ago, and he won from nothing. How about Central America? You know, Latin America.
Yes.
Leaders have been emerging from the so-called fringe parties and taking power.
But this is Africa. TIA, Miguna, this is Africa.
We are human beings just like them.
Yeah,
and I don't think we were born with different intelligence and different DNA. Essentially, we have the same DNA as them.
Yeah, but at the bottom line, Miguna, is
Yes.
we are like sheep. We are told go this way,
Yes.
we go this way. We're told cross the river, we cross the river. We're told
A time comes, and I'm telling you, it probably will begin with this election, because I know Kidero is going home.
how do you know that
He's going home, take my word. Remember today, what is the date?
Today's February the 3rd.
Okay, remember this next year.
Kidero's going home.
Is it 2017?
Yes.
Yeah, remember next year. Kidero is home. And all these jokers would probably be home too. You see, Waiguru apparently wants to stand.
In
But
Nairobi.
Anytime
In
you are-
Nairobi.
yeah, let her come. Let her bring the money that disappeared.
Are you saying come, baby, come?
Come, baby, come. Come, baby, come.
Yeah.
I may be in one of these races.
Oh.
I don't. You see, the only thing is that they have looted and they have money and I don't.
They have
That's the only thing.
They have plenty of money.
But if Kenyans are ready to wake up, they could easily elect me and
Are
leave
Kenyans
these
ready
jokers.
to wake up?
I think
Are they
so.
ready to wake up?
I think so.
Why can't they elect someone like Miguna who will clean house?
You know, sometimes they try, but then these leaders just conspire against them.
Maybe they're scared of you, Miguna, because you will clean house.
The Kenyans are not.
No, the cartel.
Yeah, but the cartels are the ones that we are taking to committee. And I think we should. You see, the institutions of governance have broken down. The institutions that are supposed to deal with law and order, the police, the intelligence, the military. You heard of White and Black. There was a report done by Journalists for Justice.
Yes.
I think probably supported by ICJ, that produced how the Kenyan military was involved in a lot of unsavory activities in Somalia.
Correct.
Then of course you know what
sugar, you name
yes,
it.
and you know what the police have been doing. Then when you go to the judiciary, the same. Then you come to the national government and the devolved governments, and you know the looting spree there is unprecedented.
Yes.
So a time comes when things have to come to a head. Even sheep can rebel. All right?
sheep.
Even sheep can rebel. If we use the allegory in George Orwell's the Animal Farm, the animals rebelled. And you know, all these animals were like sheep. They did everything. They clapped, they jumped, they mowed when they were told to do that.
Yes.
But there was a time they said, even the donkey said no, and said, today I am not going to carry the load. Even in Kenya, and you know there was a time when most people thought apartheid was not going to end.
Yes.
It did end. Mandela came out of prison after 30 years.
Look at that.
There was also a time that the British never thought that Kenyans would rebel. We did, and we got our independence. Nothing lasts forever. History is a very important subject.
Yeah.
And people must look at history and learn good lessons so that they can transform their society.
Unfortunately, we keep repeating history, Miguna. That's the thing. We keep repeating history. That's our...
Actually, what has been happening is worse than what has ever happened in history. There was a time that institutions of governance in this country worked.
And now?
Now they are all broken down.
Rotten to the core, you said.
You see, do you remember, even during Mzee Jomo Kenyatta's time, when Paul Ngei ran into trouble? Just from history, we were not there, we were still young.
Yeah.
And was forced into bankruptcy. President Kenyatta did not interfere with the judiciary.
No.
What he did, he used parliament, which he could have, because he was the president of KANU, and KANU was the majority party. But he did not, even as a president, feel that he could call the judiciary and say, don't approve that. Look recently what happened with my friend Kiunjuri. He had a case in court, and they made the matter disappear. There are lawyers who have had their licenses taken away, or lawyers who have been in jail, and they're serving members of parliament.
And Kiunjuri is a CS.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he shouldn't be. I'm not saying he shouldn't be. I'm just saying that the way that things are processed today are not how they used to be processed before.
I tell you. We
And
need a
it is not
complete
right.
overhaul.
Complete overhaul.
But the Supreme Court, all of them have to go. You said that.
All of them have to go. These people are tainted to the core.
We're going to take another quick short break. We're going to come back and talk about the way forward. My goodness. I'm so glad you came on the show today, man. We need people with guts. And Miguna, no doubt, has the guts. And he says, come, baby, come. Oh my. What my. Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. We'll take a quick break. Come back. Plenty more on the other side of this commercial break. Don't go away. We are back in a moment.